180.
Welcome back to Online Darts, everyone, as the roadshow continues as we head to the banks of the Tyne this week for Newcastle in week 8. But before that, let's go back to Cardiff, as it was Luke Littler again who stole the show with an incredible display of darts last week, including a 9-darter, getting his hands on a set of those 30k gold darts from the title sponsors BetMGM. Look, it's clear at the top. He's going to the O2. He's saying to the rest, catch me if you can. And at the moment, that's looking unlikely. It's looking as if he is going to stretch his legs at the top of the table and just playing some incredible darts. A great run to the final for Michael van Gerwen. Look, he needed that as well. Not been playing his brilliant best, but found a way to get results. Especially against Luke Humphries. That was a really good performance to come back from 4-1 down. So look, he'll gain confidence from that. But Cardiff, it was Littler who stole the show. This week, we head to the Utilita Arena in Newcastle. Always a special night. Chris Dobie comes home. It was billed for Gerwin Price last week in Cardiff. He couldn't get the job done. Can Dobie go to Newcastle and produce? That is the question. But remember, the way night 8 works, it's 1 plays 8, 2 plays 7, and so on. The fixtures dictated by your league position. So the quarterfinals are as follows. We are going to kick the action off with, look, it's a big tie in more ways than one. Coming up, it is Luke Littler against Stephen Bunting. Bunting still pointless as he takes on the reigning Premier League and world champion. Look, it's going to be a tough ask. Bunting had opportunities against Dobie last week. That's probably the worst he's played in the Premier League, and he even admitted maybe the pressure is getting to him a little bit, the internal pressure that he's putting on himself to get results as well. But sadly, I think Littler just has too much in that scoring phase of his game. He skipped the Euro Tour. They both skipped the Euro Tour at the weekend to make sure they're fresh and had a bit of diary management. But look, I just think Littler has too much at this point in the contest. Look, Bunting will pick up points. I just don't see it here. Moving on to the second of the quarterfinals, it will be a repeat of Cardiff last week. Gerwin Price against Rob Cross. Rob Cross winning it with the big fish. What a way to end the contest. He looked done. He looked dusted. It looked like Gerwin Price had produced a comeback, but Voltage with just an imperious finish from absolutely nowhere. Look, again, I think it'll be another close contest here in Newcastle. Gezi played brilliantly on the Euro Tour at the weekend, and I think he gets revenge on Voltage this time around. I think Gezi picks up the victory. I just liked what I saw from him on the European Tour at the weekend. Then it is time for local hero. Chris Dobie will get them on their feet in Newcastle, but he faces the world number 1, Luke Humphries, where we've just seen a little bit of frustration in Luke's game the last couple of weeks. He's not playing at his optimum level. Look, he's still playing fabulous darts, but he's just not quite at the races where he'd want to be at the moment. And look, that opens the door for Dobie. Ultimately, I think Humphries has a little bit too much. We haven't seen the best of Hollywood, but I think the crowd will obviously help. There'll be like a 12th man to him, but I just don't think he has enough in the locker to beat Luke Humphries at the moment. I think Humphries gets it done 6-4, somewhere around there, and will silence the home crowd. The final of the quarterfinals, it is MVG against Nathan Aspinall. Now, if you'd have asked me this before the weekend, I think this could have been a very different story. But Nathan Aspinall picking up his long-awaited first European Tour title at the weekend, and the confidence he will get from that will be incredible. The manner of his performances in Göttingen was just incredible levels from him. But MVG, again, he's found new levels again as well. So a real intriguing contest, this one. I think Michael may just nick it. The bit that come down from Aspinall from this weekend, but I think MVG gets the job done. It won't be one-sided, that's for sure. I think a 6-5, maybe 6-4 if he produces something when he needs to, but I'm going for a win for Michael van Gerwen in the quarterfinals. Comment below who you think is going to win the quarterfinals and your score predictions as always. And look, the way it's going, the top four maybe just breaking away at the moment. Luke and Luke at the top. Then Michael and Gezi, if they can pick up wins, will start to produce and start to the gap is then building between them and the rest of the pack. What do you think? Is the race for the O2 taking shape? Do you think the current four will make it, or will there be a twist and a turn along the way? And who wins in Newcastle? And look, it's hard to look past Littler at the moment. I think it could be a repeat of the final from last week. I think it could be Luke against Michael van Gerwen once more. Will it be repeat or revenge if that's the case? Excuse me. I think Littler wins again in Newcastle. It's just hard to look past him at the moment. The manner of the performances. Who do you think wins, of course, in Newcastle? Remember, the Fallout Bar will return after play on Thursday, so make sure you check that out. And here at Online Darts, all social media platforms, we have you covered all the way through this week in the Premier League.